So I just cut a video called Real Abundance. So let me cut one now called Real Manifestation. And I don't know what got me on these topics today, but something did. So the idea of manifestation, let me address it from a practical, personal level first. I get it. You're in your 20s or 30s and things are not going quite the way you would like. Or maybe you're in teen, but you're whatever you are. Things are not going ideally in your life as you see it. And so you're going to see if you can magic something up. I mean, that's what we're really talking about. Is we're going to see if you can manifest something. I'm going to wish real hard and hope I get something. I'm going to visualize that thing. I'm going to see it. I'm going to write notes and put them under my mattress. Let me tell you something. When I was in my 20s, I mean, there's nothing new about Abraham. There's nothing new about The Secret and all that stuff. The only genius there is the packaging. I mean, that is absolute genius. The Secret and all this. I wish I had thought about that. I had no idea there would be that kind of draw. I mean, it's not really what I would want to write about anyway, but I would take that money. But I didn't think about it because it's not my destiny. So, but I did all that stuff back in my 20s and 30s. A little bit actually into my 40s. I mean, because you got to figure. I mean, I was a drunk, and so I couldn't sustain equanimity and balance or anything like or abundance in my life. I could get it. But it would just slip right through my fingers. I could never hold on to it. So it was important that I keep getting stuff. So I worked in a bookstore and I discovered all these books on it, and the magic of believing and the power of positive thinking and the Think and Grow Rich and all these. They're all old titles, But that's W. Clement Stone and Napoleon Hill, all these people, and and I was going to build a life out of that, and there's nothing particularly wrong with that. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. From where the seat that I'm sitting in now, however, what I see is that I don't actually know what's good for me, so I wouldn't know what to manifest. If I was told to manifest something today, I would manifest pretty much what I've got, which is exactly what I have done. But when I say I have done it, I'm now speaking from the God place and not from the Fred place. I have manifested all of this. So have you. We are the very same thing. So, but on that practical level, I had goals, and I had goal sheets and I had goal posters, and I mean, I really got compulsive. You can tell I'm a compulsive character anyway. I'm very enthusiastic about whatever it is that I get interested in, and I got very interested in making money and getting girls. And the best way I could find to get girls was money. So fundamentally, I got interested in making money. And I pursued that. And the funny thing is that I could drive this horse compulsively. And I had all these goals, and I could achieve some of those things. And I could achieve some of those things very quickly. And it would have, to an outsider, it looked almost like magic. There were a lot of people who thought, but I couldn't sustain it. And I couldn't hold on to it because I did not fit my conditions. It was it was a false sort of life, which is I know what's right for me, and I'm gonna get it here, and I don't care how, what. I mean, just and I know that that they establish little morals and everything around the manifesting, but I also know that those are pretty flexible when it comes to me getting what I want. It's fine to have goals. Have some practical goals. There's nothing wrong with some practical goals. I want to go to college. That's a goal. I want to make A's. That's a goal. Fine. Work to achieve them. Keep them in mind. Work toward it. That's absolutely fine. I have goals on a practical level, which is I had a goal today that I was going to cut 2 videos, and it looks like I'm going to achieve that. It was a modest goal. I didn't have to do a goal sheet on it or a goal poster or anything. It was a modest goal, but I've had it a week or two where I just knew that there was going to come a time, and I finally decided this would be the time, and I decided it before today, so it was a goal. But I wasn't compulsive about it, and I would advise that you not get compulsive about any of your wishes and dreams either, even if they're for somebody else, even if your goals are altruistic and it's just, I just hope my son does well, or my daughter does well, or my husband does well, I just hope my wife gets well, I just, whatever. It's fine to feel that on one level. I don't mean that. I don't mean to be Mr. Doom and Gloom at all. What I'm saying is recognize that you don't actually know what should be going on. And how do I know that? Because I don't even know what I am, and I don't know what's going on now. I look around this, quote, room. I don't even see a room until I invent a Fred. Now, once I've got a Fred, I can see I'm in a room, and I've got objects all over it, and they're different. Da-da-da-da-da-da, and I'm looking at minniness. But when I look from the eyes of truth, I look around, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Because I haven't named it yet. I haven't invented it yet. Because what I am is prior to language. So if I don't know what I am and I don't know what's going on, I can't possibly know what should be going on. And you are in the same boat. I'm aware of it. You may not be quite as aware of it. So recognizing that I don't know what's best for me, and I don't know what's actually best for anyone else either. I try to steer away from advice in my life in general, other than to say, well, I've tried this or something, but I really don't even like to do that, because it's just, but I don't know what's right for you. I don't have any idea. I really don't. Can't know what should be going on until it's already happened. And then I can look in the rearview mirror and say, look at that. I did just right. I did just right because I can't do wrong. If you are manifesting, you think that you're expanding your potential, but you're not. You're limiting your potential. Your potential is far greater than you think it is. And it needs to happen in a natural sort of way, or you can really get in a bind. Let me tell you about, these are dear friends of mine, very dear friends of mine, nice people, good people. And 6 years ago, Betsy and I were just plugging along, just barely getting by. And my friends were doing quite well. We went over there for dinner one night, and they were talking about investing something. They had X amount of money in the bank and stuff, and they weren't flashing that. It was just part of conversation. And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! They're doing great, And they had a place in the mountains. They didn't have a house on it, but at least they had a piece of land they were paying for. I mean, I was way out of my league, and then they started, and we used to have a lovely relationship. We would go over there, once a quarter, something like that, and she's a wonderful cook, and so we would, and this guy's an old buddy of mine, and it was just great. And then they got deep into manifestation. Now, this was not entirely foreign to either one of them, because they had been along the same paths that I had in previous years. But they really, and when they came together as a couple, they really, before too long, that really became a focus, almost the focus of their marriage. And so they're manifesting is what they're doing, and they're talking about it and everything, and they decided that they wanted, more than anything, they wanted their own business, and they talked about different ones. They started out very modestly, and then they decided, what we really want? We really want a restaurant. And so they started taking practical steps toward that thing, and some things fell, and this and that and the other. They ended up with a restaurant. It's a cute little restaurant. The food's great because she's cooking, and she's wonderful at it. But it's got, a little bit too much overhead or expenses or something, because they can't make any money off of it. They've not made, it's 6 years later, they've not made any money off of it. The woman has been working, now this is not an exaggeration, 80, 90, 100-hour weeks for 6 years. She looks like she is way older than, she doesn't look like she's aged 6 years. She looks like she's aged 20 years, 15 years, something. I don't want to be harsh. I'm just telling you that you would not recognize that it's the same person. My friend has not, the guy has not taken it quite so hard on that level, but they have no life now. They have no happiness. They have a restaurant, but they're stuck with it because they took all that money that they had and everything they could get on credit cards, and they did this restaurant thing. And now they found out that they couldn't close, they couldn't make any money, but they couldn't close the restaurant because at least it was paying back the money that they had borrowed, and if they closed it down, that they were going to go bankrupt. So they work all the time. That's what they do. They work all the time. They hate this restaurant. They really do. They would just do anything to get out from under it. They think maybe now it has reached a point where maybe they can find somebody who's stupider than they are and wants to buy it. That's the truth. That's not telling tales out of school. That's what my friend said. I got to find somebody who's stupid as I am, or more, or whatever, or more so. So they got to find somebody else who wants a restaurant. Period. Right? It's the old careful for what you ask for because you just might get it. I drove myself to short-term peaks when I was doing all this supposed manifesting and this and that and the other. Amazing things happen. And because I believed that I was working with magic and all this stuff, I was very confident and pushed things. And I'm not telling you that some stuff didn't happen, but was it, but I can tell you this. Let's don't even argue about whether it worked or not. None of it lasted because I didn't fit that. The one who was wishing for that was wishing for somebody else's destiny. It wasn't mine. Now the funny thing is that 6 years later, my friends don't have any money. Everything is mortgaged. The rental property, everything's mortgaged. It's just so there's still quite a bit of debt. They don't have as much as they did, but there's still quite a bit of debt. Conversely, Betsy and I have not been manifesting. I'm not trying to brag about me and Betsy. I'm just telling you this is an example. What am I going to do? It's the only one in my life I can think of right now. So Betsy and I have not been manifesting in the last 6 years, and we have done fabulously. It's uncanny. She has and I have too. And we're not trying because we don't know what's best for us. We're open to whatever the universe is manifesting. That's the important manifestation, is we're open to that. And we're grateful for what we're getting. We're grateful for everything. And if you want to do some magic in your life, just take on a practice of gratitude. I don't care if you have to do it mechanically at first. Look around. Find out why things are good for you. 6 years ago, when Betsy and I were not doing well financially and not really doing great in some other areas as well, but as a couple, we were happy. We were as happy then, fundamentally, as we are now. Sometimes we watch our TV at night, and on a Saturday night we'll watch that movie, and I'll look at her and I'll say, if you put $3 million in the bank, it would not improve this moment. And that's the truth of it. So open yourself up to the limits that the universe might find for you. When I got the quote job of my dreams, it was actually after I'd quit saying I wanted it. Then I got the opportunity. I quit again, and it just bit me. It was gonna happen, and I opened my eyes and I allowed it to happen joyfully. But I didn't work toward being a spiritual teacher. Once I was a spiritual teacher, I worked like a Turk to get this message out there, and I still do a lot of times. But that's just maintenance. It's just maintaining the blessing. It's not that I did it. I certainly did not do it. I could not have done this for $1 million. The Betsy couldn't have done what she's done. It's just fallen. And we're very happy. This sort of happiness that we have, as we said, we decided years ago, let's be happy. How are we going to do that? We got to be happy now, because now travels. If I'm happy with what I have right now, I'm going to be happy with what I get. If I'm not happy with what I've got right now, I'm not going to be happy with what I get. And I don't care if you're in jail. When I went to jail 10, 12 years ago, I remember thinking, you know what? This is not as bad as the park. In jail, I found a way to express gratitude. I've looked for the silver lining, and I found it. Because it's always there. You can always find it. And when you open up to the true possibilities, not your imagined possibilities, my God, anything can happen. Anything. That's manifesting. Is allowing the truth to flow through you and do what it wants to do, and then get on board with it. That's the truth. So you young folks out there, I get it. I'm an old codger. I probably don't know what I'm talking about, is what you're thinking, but I do know what I'm talking about, and I have been in your shoes. And you got to do what you got to do. And if you want to go manifest, go have at it. And you want to talk to Abraham, please be my guest. But remember what was been said here. That the abundance you're looking for is already here. The happiness that you're looking for is already here. The satisfaction that you're looking for is already here. Everything you want is already here. Because there's just one thing going on, and you're it.